Hello, it's time to predict the scores of game week 27 of this 2024-2025 EFL Championship season. Top of the table is very, very tight with just 3 points separating the top four. Leeds on 53 points, Burnley and Sheffield United on 52 and Sunderland on 50 points. And it's very tight at the bottom of the table with the bottom six of Luton, Cardiff, Hull, Portsmouth and Plymouth being separated by just the 4 points. But the action all kicks off this weekend on Friday evening, where Burnley entertain Sunderland at Turf Moor. Burnley now second in the table. A very good 1-0 victory against local rivals Blackburn Rovers in the last fixture. Coming up against the Sunderland side, currently in fourth position, back-to-back wins over Portsmouth and Sheffield United, which was a fantastic victory for the Black Cats in this one. Another tight game, but I am going to go for another Burnley win. Defensively, they're solid, and I think they'll keep a clean sheet. Next up, we move to the first of the Saturday fixtures. 12:30, it's the South Wales derby, Cardiff City against Swansea. I'll be in attendance at this fixture. Cardiff, 3 draws on the trot, really should have beaten Watford on Tuesday evening. Swansea, a draw and a loss in the last 2 fixtures, and prior to that it was a couple of wins. Decent 1-1 draw against West Brom, getting thumped in the FA Cup, whereas Cardiff beat Sheffield United. Both teams there had big changes. This one, Cardiff at home, is Swansea's cup final. They'll be well up for it. Can't see Cardiff winning this one, unfortunately. I think it's going to end up as a stalemate 1-1. We then move to the Den in London, also lunchtime on Saturday. Millwall against Hull. Hull in all sorts of difficulties in the relegation zone. An excellent 3-3 draw though against Leeds last time out. Millwall, just the 1 win in their last 7 matches. Decent enough draw against Sheffield Wednesday. Another tight one. I'm going to have to go for a Millwall win. I think they'll come away with a 1-0 victory. Be very tight, that match. We then move to Home Park, also at lunchtime on Saturday. Got Plymouth Argyle coming up against QPR. Plymouth looking a little bit better now under the new manager. A 1-1 draw against Oxford last fixture. I think they went behind 1-0 in that match after dominating for the early periods. Queen's Park Rangers, 4 wins in their last 7. A good win against Luton Town in their last match, and prior to that was a victory against Watford, but Watford aren't great at the moment. So this one, I'm going to have to go for another draw. I think Plymouth will grind out a 1-1 scoreline. QPR can't see them getting beaten. We then move to the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs, where Coventry take on Bristol City. Bristol City, 3 wins in their last 4 matches. And Coventry, just the 1 win in their last 5, defeated against Norwich last time out. I'm not sure if they went ahead in that match, the Sky Blues. This one, it could end up in a draw, but I'm just going to favour the Robins. I think this will be one of the away wins this week, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 away victory to Bristol City there. Pride Park next, Derby County taking on Watford. Watford don't look great at the moment. Derby 3 defeats on the bounce. Watford will probably employ the same tactics as they did at Cardiff. Will they put a lot of players behind the ball? However, I think Derby will actually grind out a win in this one, which is a bit of a surprise, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Derby County. I think their wingers will cause Watford's defence a few problems there. Next up, we move to Kenilworth Road, where Luton Town take on Preston North End. Luton look terrible at the moment, 5 defeats in their last 6 matches, the latest of which was a 2-1 defeat against the R's. Preston North End, forms up and down. A draw against Oxford last time out. This one could end up in another draw, but I am going to go for an away victory. I think Preston will just edge this one 2-1. We then move to rivals, you could say, local rivals of Luton geographically. Oxford United taking on Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn getting back to winning ways with that 3-0 thumping of Portsmouth. Oxford now 5 matches unbeaten. I don't think Oxford will win this one. Blackburn, can they follow it with another win? not so sure. I'm going to have to go for a draw in this one. I'm going to go Desmond's. Rather than going for 1-1, I'll go for 2-2. We then move down to the South Coast, Fratton Park. Portsmouth take on Middlesbrough. Portsmouth back-to-back defeats, thumping by Blackburn Rovers. Middlesbrough, hard to beat. I think I'm going to go for another away win in this one, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory to Middlesbrough. Portsmouth still got a game in hand against their relegation rivals, and they need to get a victory soon, but I don't think it'll be against Middlesbrough. Next up, we got the Blades, Sheffield United, currently second in the table, taking on Norwich. Tough one to call, this one. I think it'll be tight again, which a lot of these games in the Championship are. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to the Blades at Bramall Lane. We then move on to the Hawthorns, where West Brom take on Stoke City. Stoke, without a defeat in the last 3 matches, same for West Brom. Could be heading to a draw this one. I think West Brom, it was a 1-1 draw against Swansea last time out in the league. Stoke was a draw against Plymouth. I'm going to favour the home side here. I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 victory to West Brom. We then move on to Sunday for the final fixture of the weekend, where Leeds United take on Sheffield Wednesday. Yorkshire derby. Both of these teams in decent enough form. 2 draws for Leeds against Hull and Blackburn Rovers. I think Sheffield Wednesday, they are conceding goals. I think they'll concede against this potent Leeds United attack, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory to Leeds to cement themselves at the top of the table. So there we have it. Those are my predictions for game week 27. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. Enjoy all the action over the weekend, and I'll see you all in the next video.